What's going on?
So guys, Mikey here. Keep it simple. And we came up with a little thought, which is weird because we just finished watching The Mandalorian, but we're going into, what were we talking about? Video games. Arcades. That we used to love playing back in the days.
You didn't hang out in arcades at all? Like,
actually, arcades was the one place people, like, what is the equivalent to arcades nowadays? Like, arcades was the thing where all the kids used to go to, we used to love it. All our allowance would go to arcade games, and it was always a cool little hangout kind of scene.
there's a lot of, place around us called New Rock City. They have an arcade up there.
But those are like movie theater arcades, but they're not really. Movie theater arcades are different from regular arcades.
Oh yeah.
Like on 34th Street, Penn Station, they had a huge arcade. It was huge.
But then there was also the thing that there was delis and pizzerias.
Right, they would have like what, maybe three or four.
They would still have arcade games.
Right, 3 or 4 arcade machines. But if you really wanted to play all the arcades, like the motorcycle ones and all the other ones we used to love.
Oh yeah,
you would have to go to an arcade, right?
Nathan's.
Right.
Nathan's always had the arcade.
In fact, the candy store we used to hang out with, Garber's, just had it was a little tiny hole in the wall on the back, but they had like 3 or 4 games.
Back room that had like 4 games.
That they would rotate every now and then, and every time they got a new game, it was like the 4th of July, like
I
Christmas.
couldn't stand when they would rotate a game.
That they already had in there.
Especially a game. If it was a game that I was so heavy into playing. They did this with NBA Jam. Man, they did this with NBA Jam.
Garber's had NBA Jam?
Do you remember NBA Jam had a code, not a code, but they had a thing.
You could play as somebody else?
No, where you could make your own profile for the arcade, and you have to play through all the teams.
Oh.
You have to play through every single team in the NBA.
That sounds like a lot of quarters involved. But
it is. It is. And imagine doing that. And then this store is just gonna be like, yeah, they're gonna take this away from you.
Well, I would actually like playing NBA Jams when I was by myself playing the computer rather than when somebody else would play. Remember when you would get 2 or 3 in a row?
Oh, you mean when people would come and derail you?
Yeah, and join in. Yeah.
And they would join in.
How many times could you play arcades unless you wake up at the break of dawn and start playing the video games before nobody else gets there? You're able to play the, what is the mode called? Like, the story mode. But most of the time it was against somebody else. Everybody played NBA Jams.
Well, story mode. There was no story mode in NBA Jam. It was just you play team to team to team to team. That's all.
Or you could play the computer to get to the championship.
The arcade, yeah.
Right, the arcade version.
Yeah, but people would join in and you could play against each other, just like Street Fighter. That's another thing. Street Fighter 2 in particular.
Or Double Dragon. Couldn't somebody just pop a quarter in and be a partner in Double Dragon?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I liked it or hated it, but sometimes it helped out. When somebody fought, in the arcade games. What was some of your favorite arcade games back in the day? I can't even. I'm thinking about Outrun. I used to love Outrun actually because that was the first video game to shake.
That was fun.
Because it used to shake. NBA Jams did something too when it. Did NBA Jam shake when when you're on fire? No,
I didn't.
Okay. Pole position.
But you didn't like Street Fighter 2. So you didn't think Street Fighter 2 was like a pretty much set the standard for...
Absolutely. Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat became huge arcade games.
Yeah.
Those set the way for the...
And made all the Street Fighter was the original, and it made all the copycats.
Street Fighter came out before...
but even... did you ever play Street Fighter? Not Street Fighter 2. Street Fighter, the very first one.
The original one?
It was just Ken and Ryu. They were the only ones.
Interesting. I probably did. Don't really remember, but I remember.
One was first player, one was second player. I couldn't remember which order.
It was almost like the game Kung Fu, when you would just fight each other. Remember the game Kung Fu where it was that...
No, that wasn't Kung Fu. Kung Fu was different.
What was the one I'm thinking about where you just the 2 karate guys in gis, right? You used to just come up
That was Karate Champ.
Oh, Karate Champ. That was a popular game in arcades also. I used to love Karate Champ.
Karate Champ.
before they became 3D and all that with Tekken. But
Kung Fu was different. Kung Fu was the one where you're running from board to board. Remember that? The kick, the guys are coming at you left and right. You really can't remember? It was
oh no.
Yeah.
I'm sure I played it, but I also used to love playing that game Commando. I would put quarters in, quarter after quarter, just to keep going. Because I would always get stuck when the tank started coming out, and Commando had so much ammunition coming at you at one time. It was crazy to survive. But Commando was a great arcade game back. You know, we just hitting the button. Now, did you have to keep pressing the button, or was it automatic fire like the?
It's been so long. Since
I think it was you had to keep pressing it though.
Arcade.
And Spy Hunter, I used to love.
Yeah, I like Spy Hunter better on the arcade than
yeah, Spy Hunter arcade was the best.
On the arcade than on the NES.
Well, they actually did have. Well, the NES version was a little more improved. I actually still have the NES version. Not the NES version. I have the PlayStation version because they did come out with a Spy Hunter for PlayStation.
Well, they always used to make home ports of the arcade games throughout a whole bunch of systems. They always did.
So what was your go-to arcade game playing though when you used to go to arcades? I mean, was it one in particular that you mastered? Like George Costanza with Frogger?
Well, one I mastered was...
You get your name up?
I guess one I mastered would mean one that I had the most quarters to finish, right?
Or if you had your initials up on any single game. I mean,
I didn't care about having my initials up. I just wanted to finish the game because there was a few games. I had some money left.
Yeah, but who could ever finish an arcade game? I
finished arcade games all the time. Arcade games all the time.
With nobody else joining in, like just putting.
I finished Double Dragon on the arcade by myself, multiple times.
Oh, that must have took. You must have been that must have been.
Yes.
You must have nothing else going on. You were always at the arcade putting quarters in.
I was pumping quarters in there.
Change for $1. Change for $1.
Change for $1.
Oh my God! Because I don't think I could ever try to. I mean. Like Castlevania.
More than once too. Double Dragon, the first Double Dragon game, I finished that more than one time by myself.
Well, Double Dragon was a cool game to play with other people, but you did it by yourself.
It was cool to play, but more than one. Yeah, when I would have enough money. It was around Easter time. I had some Easter money going on.
You had that Easter money.
I used to get money for Easter, so I was like,
Double Dragon.
At the video store because they had arcade games in video stores and pizzerias and everything like that.
Double Dragon was a fun game to play in the arcade.
Be there with a 20 or a 10.
But that was even before Street Fighter.
We say change for $1.
Right, we just go dollar at a time. But and then you have to run to the guy. I got 20 seconds left. I'm gonna count down to go on. You run to the guy. Let me get the quarters before.
Oh, you remember the thing when people used to challenge each other in games where they would stack the quarters up?
Oh, yeah, like a pool table. Just stack the freaking quarters up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to hate that when I was good on the game. I was doing good, and then someone would come and join in and just kind of pretty much ruin the whole freaking game. Remember Rampage?
Yeah.
But
Rampage wasn't one-on-one. It was
right. That game is a good game to have a partner with.
That's a co-op game.
Right, that's a co-op game. Right. That was great.
Not every game was head-to-head. I mean...
There was times I would walk into an arcade where some guy was doing good and he wouldn't want me to put my quarters in. Like, there was like some kind of unwritten rule where if you're at a certain level, you have to let them play.
I used to kind of feel that way too, man.
Oh, absolutely. That's how you should feel. There should be respect. If you're past like the third level in a single player arcade game, you should not be able to join in because you just ruin everything that you've done pretty much.
You know, like go back to Street Fighter. I want to beat Bison. I want to try to beat Bison.
Right. Imagine somebody just joins in. It's ridiculous. You get up to the top of that.
You should ask.
The totem pole.
You need consent.
Well, first of all,
May I derail you from beating Bison?
No, well, the problem is that...
You put a quarter up on the cabinet.
And that's when you had to... Remember the moves were on the side of the arcade?
Yeah,
you had to, like, memorize them.
It was, like, later on in the Street Fighter series where they started having all the movesets on the...
But there was always one guy who mastered that shit. Like, he was, like, the creator of the shit. You're like, what the hell's going on? Like, you can put your quarters in, and people, like...
It was always helpful, though, those little guys.
it was like a ringer in the freaking game. Like he would just keep fighting everybody and just keep playing as. If you could play for like over an hour on one quarter, then you pretty much mastered that game. I mean, a lot of these people at those arcades would play forever with just one quarter. I mean, they didn't even break $1. They just had a quarter in
You
their
never
pocket.
actually sat there and
I watched a lot of people
enough
play it.
quarters into actually trying to finish an arcade game. You never finished an arcade game.
The thing is, I would always try to get to the arcades early, but there was always people in the arcades. Arcades
You never
were
went
always packed.
You never went to Nathan's?
Oh, the one in Yonkers you're talking about?
Anywhere. I've been to plenty of Nathan's.
where they had arcades.
Nathan's used to have arcades. I don't know anywhere else in the country if they have arcades in Nathan's around. Do they?
They probably still have them in Nathan's.
Not the ones
In Yonkers, when we used to have the birthday
one we
parties.
used to go to.
Yeah, wow, that was a special
Fucking,
Nathan's.
what was it, Scarsdale? Or was it right outside
I think
Scarsdale?
yeah, I thought it was Yonkers, but it probably was Scarsdale.
Oh, right outside Scarsdale, whatever.
Yeah, they had one of the biggest arcade sections ever.
And they had dope games all the time. They always had dope games. All sorts of games. They had the arcade games with the motorcycles where you would be able to go, sit on a freaking motorcycle.
Right, and go back, pole position with the wheel or whatever. Outrun was my favorite car game ever because it was shaky and the music was good. If you remember the music, you picked the different music. Outrun was like a California type of racing game, which was pretty cool. I loved it.
Did you like the Ninja Turtles arcade game?
I like the Ninja Turtles games, yes.
The 4 players.
And that was the 4 people, right? That was a 4 player, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
That was good.
That was a real fun co-op.
Who was your go-to? Who's like the nunchucks on the
Well,
side?
I always personally liked Michelangelo as my favorite Ninja Turtle.
You're a Michelangelo fan.
I guess big surprise for everybody.
Who was it? The Corey Feldman character?
I just thought I liked Michelangelo's stupid surfer voice, and I liked nunchucks.
Yeah.
When I started getting into the Ninja Turtles, that was my thing with Ninja Turtles.
You know, come to think about it, I
Did
don't
you
know if
ever
I.
see the X-Men game? That
In the
was
arcade?
The same thing as the Ninja Turtles.
Oh.
It's the same thing. You
Oh, who are the 4 players
Wolverine,
though? Besides
Colossus,
Wolverine.
Wolverine, Colossus, Cyclops. But I think this one was 6 players on the arcade. I think this one. I think there was actually 6-player cabinets.
That means you could
Because
switch
they had-
between.
The 6-player cabinet depended what quarter.
One
slot
person
you-
can switch with 3.
What quarter slot you put the.
Okay.
I think X-Men was 6 players. Because going in and out of movie theaters, remember going in and out of movie theaters, they always had arcade games in it too. That's how I found the Ninja Turtles game.
Well, movie theaters like New York City still has. A lot of movie theaters still have arcade games. Because how are you gonna kill time before the movie starts? Play an arcade game, which is pretty cool. Look, you know, man, I love arcades. House of the Dead with remember the shooting ones? You just shoot the zombies.
What are the old school games though? Could you think of any old school games?
Like Pac-Man or Space
Of course.
Invaders.
Of course.
Dig Dug.
Donkey Kong, Dig Dug.
You had Bubble Bobble. No, not Bubble Bobble. The other one, Bust the Move, which is my brother's favorite one with the bubbles.
Well, that's way later.
But no, Pac-Man. No,
and
Pac-Man was one of the original arcades actually.
Yeah.
And Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
Donkey Kong was a classic because let me tell you, it was even hard to make it past the first level in Donkey Kong because it was all about the timing.
Especially
if you didn't time it right, you was
dying once without that.
yeah, exactly, without dying once to make it to the top. You probably had to play that game for like weeks to just make it to the top before dying once. Cause that Donkey Kong started throwing a lot of barrels. Now, who was the character in Donkey Kong? Was one of the Mario Brothers? We talk about Mario Brothers. Mario Brothers was an arcade.
Who's Mario? I'm sorry. Well, I used to play.
Because for NES, Mario was one of my favorite. Was one of my favorite whatchamacallits.
Well, there was also before Super Mario Brothers. You know, there was just Mario Brothers, right? The one where it's just them running over the same board, through the same board of underground pipes.
Before they came up with the first Mario Brothers one.
No, Mario Brothers was the first one with Mario.
Oh, before Super Mario
and
Brothers.
Luigi.
Oh, okay.
You don't remember that one?
I remember Super Mario Brothers. NES, great game. All those hidden coins and all that stuff. Hidden worlds. My favorite one was Super Mario Brothers Part 2 with the princess that floated. And you also had the Toad.
Yeah. But that's a home system.
That's a home system, yes.
I don't know if they have Mario 2 on arcade. Maybe they do.
But what games in the arcade do you think that made a good transition into home systems? I think the Street Fighter series and the Mortal Kombat series made a good transition into. Remember they had the NES version, which didn't have the blood, and then the Sega version that had the blood.
Yeah, what they did with Mortal Kombat, they had better graphics on the Super Nintendo, but they erased the fatalities.
Oh, that's right. You're exactly right. That was the whole thing. The graphics were better on the Nintendo, but they did not have
Super
Nintendo, but they did not have the
but
fatalities.
The Genesis one had fatalities.
But the Super Nintendo did have blood though squirting, but they didn't have the fatalities.
I think you had to put a code in for them to even have blood.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. Absolutely right. That was the whole knock on it. And that's why I liked the other version better, the Sega version.
Then Nintendo wised up. So by Mortal Kombat 2, they were able to have actual fatalities from the arcade.
Yeah.
But they put it out for Super Nintendo.
The fatalities were the thing.
Yeah.
And how many times?
Why are you gonna go over to Mortal Kombat if you're not gonna have fatalities?
Well, that was the problem I used to have. You put the quarter in, and how many quarters it takes you. You finally win a match against some guy, and you can't freaking do the fatality in the arcade. Let me tell you, there was some people that mastered the fatalities, or you were like me that couldn't even get one off if you wanted to. I was always Luke Kang who always wanted to do the dragon. Maybe he turned into a dragon and bit the body off or whatever.
I think that was Mortal Kombat 2.
Right. Well, whatever.
But then they started getting stupider and stupider with
the bestialities and the babyalities and the friendships.
The friendships and they started getting more and more ridiculous. The babyalities.
Those actually were one of the best arcade games ever. Was a Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat video arcade.
Although I think those things are kind of like
and Tekken was good.
Tekken was dope. I like
that was one of the first 3D.
I didn't play Tekken on the arcade though. I played it on
Neo Geo?
PS1.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't introduced to Tekken until PS1.
Yeah, Tekken had some good characters, and they were the first one. It became a little harder because you had to learn how to do the 3D kind of effects. You remember Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter always
You liked fighting games a lot.
Oh yeah, of course. Oh, they were the best. Fighting games were great. I mean, what else did you have in the arcade besides Pac-Man, Space Invaders? What did you have? Asteroids.
Well, those are early.
Those are early games, yeah.
Fighting games are like early 90s.
The one Karate Champ that we were talking about. No, fighting games are always great. Boxing. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out was an arcade, right?
Punch-Out.
Just Punch-Out?
Tyson wasn't in the arcade Punch-Out. But, that one, because I went to this place, Barcade.
Oh, that's a good name.
You heard of that place, right?
I can't say I did.
There's a couple in the city.
Barcade?
There's a couple of them.
It was like a Dave & Buster's?
I don't know.
Where they serve alcohol and video games?
I don't know if they serve food.
Oh, okay.
But they had the Punch-Out arcade game there, and it has this weird, like... The other thing, too, is if you try to play the arcade, some of these controls are busted, and they can't... There's no way of them fixing them.
That was a big excuse for some people that were getting hurt. Oh, the buttons always messed up.
No. There was, the Simpsons arcade game, where it was 4 players, like Ninja Turtles. And you had to put the quarter in the slot of whatever character you wanted to be. But you could only be like 2 characters because only 2 coin slots were working.
I'm assuming, okay, but the 4 characters were Homer, Bart, Lisa, and Marge? I guess, the family, right. I don't remember the Simpsons arcade game, actually.
It was the same exact thing as the Ninja Turtles arcade game. It was just a 4-player going through the thing, fighting everybody.
Yeah, but now what about Metroid and like
was Metroid or arcade?
That's what I'm saying. Was it an arcade game? I don't even remember if it was an arcade game or not.
I don't know either.
Contra was Contra an arcade game?
Contra was an arcade game.
Oh yeah, that was a classic arcade game.
Oh. Oh. WrestleFest. That's my favorite. You know what? I'm thinking.
Well, a lot of people think WrestleFest is like the hands down best wrestling game of all time.
It's up there.
But it was
WrestleFest.
WrestleFest was a good one.
That was so much fun.
And you still play that on your pod,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
But
the WrestleFest.
The quarters I would throw in on that too. Yeah, that's another one I beat in the arcade.
You actually beat that game. Were you big on putting your initials up in the game? You put your initials up.
I didn't even care about that. I would usually just like put A, if anything.
Yeah, I would do that if I wasn't up in the rankings. But if I was up in the rankings, I would put my initials. I mean, why not?
I didn't care. I just wanted to beat the game.
Yeah. I'm with you too. I don't know if I ever beat a game in the arcade. I really don't think I have. You probably dedicated a lot more time than I did, and a lot more quarters. Maybe your allowance was a little more than mine was.
But
but
just like right now, I have no life.
yeah, but still, you still have to have the quarters to put in there.
That's what I was saying. When it comes to seasons, when I was a kid, you get money like Easter and
during the holidays, that was your big gaming season.
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much was.
Well, arcades were very popular before people had there wasn't gaming systems.
Do you remember, this was the other thing. When you said before that Street Fighter would turn into real Street Fighter.
Oh, when people would just say, yeah, right, well, that would happen. You get amped up.
When people would lose one-on-one matches in Street Fighter.
And they would want to fight.
Or actually fight.
Or because they didn't get that quarter in on time
or just beating the hell out of somebody in the arcade.
Yeah. That's like that. That's virtual. That's the real virtual reality.
Yeah. He took Street Fighter pretty seriously.
But a lot of people thought they were Ken and Ryu.
Street Fighter, literally.
Dowsum and Bison. I think I might have been in Bison in Halloween one time, and people think Bison was a good character. Who was your favorite Street Fighter character? Who was your go-to? To use, yeah. I was always with Guile. I loved Guile with the Sonic Boom. Sonic Boom.
In Street Fighter 2, it's always a toss-up. I could try to use anybody because I never had a.
You never had a go-to? You would just use anybody.
Like the Street Fighter, you're gonna get technical into it. Like the Street Fighters later on, I started getting better with other guys. Like when I could use Sagat and guys like Rolento. Like I always like those weird characters.
I was into Guile. Loved Guile.
And Adon. Adon was my favorite. Adon in Street Fighter Alpha. I love using that guy. Oh man, Adon. That's another.
Not Blanca.
Adon. I used him in the Street Fighter Alpha arcade game and I unlocked Akuma.
Oh.
Because in the arcade they had.
You could unlock the character in the arcade.
And Akuma comes down and beats the crap out of whoever you're supposed to fight, right?
And then you have to fight Akuma. And get your ass kicked.
No. I got up to him twice using Adon. You had to cheese your way through the game. Right? You had to finish every match with either a perfect or a super, just a super finisher.
To get that achievement?
Yeah. And then you go to the last guy, and the Akuma just comes out, boom, 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 lights out. The guy's done, and now you fight Akuma. And he's not a choosable character in the game. And I beat him the first time I got up to him, but I lost him the second time. But the first, I was cheesing my way through the game with Adon. Adon, the kickboxer. He's the kickboxing master. Adon is the Muay Thai kickboxing master.
Jesus, you must have no life.
No, I didn't.
You every day with the
Still.
freaking Street Fighter. Pressing that button. You were like a jackhammer with that shit.
I was getting perfect left
You were
and right.
cheesing your way to a Kuma.
I was getting perfect left and right, but I did. I only managed to pull it off twice.
Oh man, and I think that's what actually made Mortal Kombat like a little step above after that, because didn't have the fatalities. You know, Street Fighter never really had fatalities. It was always like a family type of game.
Well, they did have the supers, the finishers.
Well, and that's another thing too. The super combos that they would have were pretty cool with Street Fighter. Where you go boom, 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 boom. If you had to do it right, that's how I knew how good it was when people used to do it to me when I was playing the game, because they would do combos on me like I was just a test dummy. I mean, people would play me, and I was like, well, when I put my quarter in, I would have to save my quarters until this one guy would leave the place.
I can't believe you never beat an arcade game.
No,
Really?
I don't think
Arcade
And let me tell you, Chris, Slash, I can't even figure out what arcade game I ever finished. I just really can't. I think the one when I was trying to might have been the Contra. Or the Commando. Maybe the Commando.
The Contra or the Commando?
Let me tell you, there was a time when I thought that there wasn't even an end to these games. I was like, there can't be an end to these games. I mean, I would play it quarter after quarter, but there was always some kind of disruption. But you were there probably in the midnight hours, like the Last Action Hero when the kid was there.
Yeah, I was there. Yeah.
You were having them open up the store during off hours.
Maybe if I had the option.
I used to wish I had the arcade game in my home at the time, so I could just try to finish it without, continuing, because if you have it at home, you probably just press that button. You don't have to put a quarter in, and if you put a quarter in, you can just recycle the quarters. But I would just try. I never finished. So how many arcade games have you finished? I mean, who finishes arcade games?
I finished arcade games.
Yeah.
There was a Spider-Man game that I ended up finishing.
Okay.
We came out of seeing a movie, and Spider-Man was there in the lobby.
And that inspires you to finish the game?
No, this was before the Spider-Man movie was even, not Tobey Maguire's, but this is early 90s.
So you finished the Spider-Man arcade game?
Yeah.
Well, if you could sum it up, how much money do you think that took? Do you think it was like a quarter per level or more? Probably like, I would say $1 per level. And those arcade games had how many levels at the time? Do you remember how many?
It was always different. It was always different. I think the Punisher.
Like 6 levels, maybe.
The Punisher game. I'm pretty sure I finished that game. There was a lot.
Of course, you a heavy fortune. Because a quarter then was $1 now. But now they don't even take quarters arcade. You have to, if you go to arcade, you have to put $1 in.
Well, that was the thing with NBA Jam. Going back to NBA Jam, you had to put in 4 quarters. To
that's right.
4 quarters of a game.
That's right. 4 quarters for 4 quarters.
You had to actually keep plunking in quarters. What about Gauntlet?
But that game was a lot of fun. Gauntlet was good. Yes, Gauntlet was a great game. That was a 4-player too, right?
That was dope.
Yeah, Gauntlet was a great game. I think it's still.
That was one that I used to trek out. I used to also, for arcade games, I used to walk around the neighborhood. Because they were always in different stores. Like whether it was a deli.
Oh, so you go for one store to play one game.
Whether it was a deli or a pizzeria, they would always have different games scattered across,
Yeah, but they were always packed. Everybody knows video games.
They weren't always packed.
I don't know.
They weren't always packed.
Every time I went, they were packed. I hated it. I can't
Remember
get there by
DJ's
myself.
Pizza?
Nah.
Bruckner, they had an arcade room in the back. That's where I used to play a lot of arcade games.
How many arcades did they have? 6 or more?
It was like one of those ones that had 4 or 5, maybe 5 max.
You know why it is they have to do like that? Because one arcade would have like 10 people around each. There was always people gathered around. That would make you, go good. I was always under pressure.
But
people watching me play NBA Jam.
I think it was also a thing to like have people wait while they're having their pizza made up.
I guess so. But every time I saw an expert playing,
entertain yourself with an arcade.
My favorite arcade though had to always be Mortal Kombat, and I would always have to wait till that one expert was finished playing the game, and hopefully I could wait him out until I get to play.
Mortal Kombat was fun.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat was excellent. It was a great game to play, and then you started getting
a bunch of killing
the
games.
books and stuff. But the fatalities were great, And hopefully now with the whole way everything's changing, hopefully they keep with the fatalities. And the new Mortal Kombat movie is going to be R-rated, so you know we're going to see more fatalities in the Mortal Kombat movie. But we were talking about in the future video games that became movies, like Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter movies, but that's for another time.
But I haven't seen too many.
Well, maybe we should do some research, because we never do research on anything that we do.
We don't.
We just finished watching The Mandalorian and some rest of we were watching, and we go to what are we talking about now? We're talking about arcades. So, well, you know.
Random city.
I don't even remember the Punisher video game, to be honest with you. I was a big Punisher fan.
It was just like Final Fight, all these games, they started just doing copy and paste.
Was
you know Final Fight? You got
Final Fight. Oh yeah,
Hagar.
Very popular. Was Pitfall an arcade or just for Atari?
It had to have been. I don't think I ever played it on arcade, but
that was the game that had no ending. I mean, in the Atari version, it had no ending. Do you know anybody that had that'd be a good documentary? Did anybody ever finish Pitfall? Because it would just repeat itself.
To run out. That's all it was.
Oh, okay. So there was no end to it. See, games that have no end is stupid.
It was a 20-minute clock that you had to run out.
Yeah, as long as you could go over the dinosaurs. I mean, the dinosaurs. I'm talking about the
that was when games were more score-based than
yeah, that is true.
Actually having a.
But most of those games were score-based because you had to beat someone else's score, especially in like See, when it came to sports games in arcades, I wasn't big on those. Like, NBA Jams was good, but I would never be big on the sports games. It'd always be like the fighting games or kung fu games. That was big into.
Should we wrap it up here?
Wrap it up. And I gotta tell you though, was this game part of the, was this an arcade?
I used to actually play this on.
We didn't even talk about Super Mario Brothers.
Maybe in the future.
But this was in arcades though, right?
I played this in the arcade.
Best arcade soundtrack ever? Because you can mix this up.
After school every day.
I can see you rapping to this.
Yeah? I'll work on it.
You know, the new Baby It's Cold Outside Woke version.
I'll write some lyrics.
Write some lyrics to Super Mario Brothers. Have a good one, guys.
Later, everybody.